Yeah, hi Adeayo, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's good now? How you
All
doing?
right, I'm good. All right, excellent. So Afro Nation Nigeria cancellation.
Bro,
What does it say about Nigeria?
it's really sad. I mean, let's just start from there. It's really sad that Afronation Nigeria had to cancel. Afronation had to cancel the festival for December because Nigerians were looking forward to that festival a lot. Like the news excited Nigerian fans, Nigerian music fans, even Nigerians in diaspora. People
Yeah.
were going to travel back to Nigeria just to experience the festival feeling in Lagos, right? It was the first time we're having something like that. We used to have it back in the day, different kind of festivals, right? Music festival, but things changed and we just those festivals just packed up. But now we're looking forward to Afro Nation. We've seen Afro Nation have these festivals in Detroit, in Miami, in Portugal. And now we're looking forward to the Lagos edition, and it just didn't happen. So, I mean, what does it say about Nigeria? It says a lot. It says a lot. Number one, it's not a good look. You understand? Like, it's not a good look for the country.
Yeah.
It makes it look like we're not ready. We're not getting it right. The economics is not there. The structure, the infrastructures for this, for these shows to happen, for this festival to be successful, is not there. So, it shows that Nigerians don't have the spending power. They don't have the disposable income to afford this kind of luxuries. So it shows that our economy is actually shit right now. It captures it. It just exemplifies how bad the economy is. It also shows how bad, I don't say how bad, but how the ecosystem is struggling. How we need to really intensify our efforts in growing the ecosystem. So the cancellation of Afro Nation, it's quite a bad look for Nigeria, especially when we consider the fact that last year December, I think it was still last year December, there was Afro Nation in Ghana,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
So and if Ghana can do this, and they can tie an entire homecoming event, to their December, and have people travel from all over the world to come back to Ghana to interact and relate back to their African roots, then we cannot do the same in Nigeria. It's not a good look for the country. It's not a good look for Lagos State. So I'm really, I don't know. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, we are all not happy about it. So what could have led to Afro Nation to cancel the festival?
Different things, right? Different things. If you read the statement they put out, they put out a statement
Yeah,
about
they
the
did.
cancellation, and they said they're not able to do the show at the standard Nigerian fans deserve. That says a lot, right? Because now this is an organization. This is a festival that owes themselves to a particular standard. They've set a standard for themselves, and they don't want to go below that standard. So they thought about it that the possible means for them to do that show, every possible means for them to actually execute the festival, might lead to them delivering something that is substandard, something below their standard. And it's not a good look for them. So they decided to just like, nah, you know what? Let's just let it go. So we have to consider the economics first of all. Like Nigeria, it's possible that they are not selling the tickets that would make the show a success. The amount of ticket they need to sell to make the show a success, they're just not selling at that rate. They're going to use TBS. That's possible 40k people. You can take 40k people, fantastic venue because it's big, there's the space, and they're expecting 40k people. They just not. I don't think they can sell that amount of tickets considering the economy of Lagos and the economy of Nigeria right now. So at the prices the tickets are going out for, I mean they'll probably still even reduce the prices, but even at that, can they sell 40,000 tickets? Can they even sell 20,000 tickets to start with, right? So I think they consider that the logistics of it all, the transportation, the security, the whole cost of putting up the event, the setup, the sound, right? It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very expensive. Then we have to even consider the cost of booking artists. Bro, Jesus Christ. It's very expensive to book artists right now. Very, very expensive. So when they factor in when they factor all this in, even considering taxes they will have to pay, because LIRs is going to be chasing them when they start seeing their signboards all over Lagos for Afro Nation, like chasing them for taxes. They have to pay taxes. So all these things, when they factor in together, they just probably see that they're not even going to break even, let alone make profit. So they're going to suffer a loss and still probably put up a substandard show. So they just felt it's better to just cancel the show. So that's what I think probably led to them canceling the show.
All right. So you mentioned artists are expensive. So why are Nigerian artists so expensive to book?
Well, a lot of factors. I think number one, and this is the price to pay for advancement. When you advance, there's a good side to it. There's also some price you have to pay. For example, now, in terms of Afrobeats to the world, this is one of the prices to pay. Because these artists, they understand their worth. They know their worth. They know the value, the money, the prices, the fee they command on the global stage, right? Afrobeat is in high demand globally. These artists are going to perform all over the world, in different venues all over the world. A B-list artist with a couple of popular singles and maybe 2 EPs is going on tours in Canada, North Africa, America, Canada, and possibly some countries in Europe. And they're getting north of 30K, 40K. That's dollars, so $40,000 per show. So there's money in the ecosystem outside Nigeria, right? Like Afrobeat is huge outside Nigeria. And these artists are cashing out and they are charging really good money for it. So when that price is back home, right? Promoters cannot pay that price. That's one. Promoters cannot pay that price. And their hospitality riders alone, like it's a lot. So you have to fly some of them in private jet. You have to book an entire suite. The kind of cast they want to be. You have to like get ready for them when they are going, when they're in Nigeria, when you want to bring them for a show in Nigeria. The hospitality riders is a lot. So it's very, very expensive. I mean, recently, Burna Boy was in the news now for rejecting $5 million for a show in the Middle East. It was in Dubai, or Dubai, for a show in Dubai. $5 million because he wasn't allowed to smoke. That and people felt it was crazy. It might not be true. I don't think it's lying. I think it's actually true. I don't see any reason why I would lie about it. He makes a lot of money from shows. He makes a lot of money. He's one of the biggest artists in the world. So that's just to show you the kind of money these artists command on the global stage. On the global stage, they command a lot of money. So when you put that money in the Nigerian context, you're not going to pay them in naira now. You're not going to collect their money in naira because they don't even live here. They don't spend naira anymore. But it's crazy. These guys don't spend naira anymore because they don't live here. So you have to pay them in dollars. So when they give you the red card, bro, when you see the red card, you go first fear. So it's really expensive. So this is affecting the way promoters are able to put together shows. And so Afrobeat is the word. The music is global. The music is highly exportable, and there's a high demand for the music, right? So this has affected the way artists, the fees artists charge, and that's taking them for all intents and purposes out of the region that they can become affordable in Nigeria.
Oh wow. Well, so for Nigerian artists now, so are there incentives for Nigerian superstars to perform in Nigeria?
That's a good question. That's one thing we have to ask ourselves, right? Because as it is right now, December is coming now, and we're looking forward to seeing the stars in Nigeria. That's one of the things we look forward to the most in December, 30 December. These big stars, you've seen them, we've watched them perform all around the world, all year round, different festivals, watch some of them on YouTube, and you're hoping to have this experience live in Nigeria. And now you're being priced out of it because you cannot pay for it. I mean, for an organizer to book a show, for promoters to hold an event and book an artist. Now, if they want to book the biggest stars, the A-list stars that can sell tickets, right? Okay, you have to sell tickets. To sell tickets, you need A-list stars. The A-list stars charge a lot of money. So, number one, can you sell enough tickets to make back that money, right? Number two, if you're booking these A-list stars, you have to pay them a premium because in December, there are going to be a lot of shows. You understand? There's one. And even brands, banks, for example, multinationals, they're going to be having end of the year parties, their own private events, and they have the money to pay these big artists to come perform for them privately. You understand? So this big organization. So you as a promoter, you have to pay these artists a premium. By premium, I mean you have to pay these artists enough money to ignore the rest of those shows. Because you want those brands, those organizations to come buy tables at your events. You want them to possibly even sponsor your event. You want your show to be the only show this particular artist will be performing. If you're going to have a Burna Boy show in Nigeria, you want your show to be the only show Burna Boy will be headlining. So everybody who wants to see Burna Boy have to show up for your concert. It's not a lot. It's not an easy money. So what are the incentives for these artists to perform in Nigeria when, number one, they are not paid the level at the rate they are going to be paid at the global stage? So they have to take a hit. They have to subsidize it. That's number one. Number two, there have been recurring issues with performing in Nigeria. It's just the truth. Irrespective of how we want to see it, there's the issue of the sound, the stage management. Everything has just been. It's not really at the level it is globally. And these are people who have been performing all around the world, each free, right? So when they come back and they start getting into the news for the wrong reasons because sound is not working, the light goes off, the stage is not well set up. So these artists don't enjoy performing here. It's just true. They don't enjoy performing here because the whole joy of performing, it has been killed off because of the poor setup. So that's that. So there's not a lot of incentive. The only incentive that they have to perform in Nigeria is sentimental. It's sentimental. It's about, okay, I've enjoyed a very, very good year internationally. I've made money internationally. I've exported Afrobeat and I've benefited from Afrobeat's global appeal. So now let me give back to the own fans, right? Let me give back to the fans in Nigeria. Let me do something for my people. So that's sentimental. That is the basic reason. That's the basic incentive these artists have to perform in Nigeria. Other than that, the economics doesn't really work for them.
But is sentiment enough incentive for these superstars?
See this thing we'd have to subject it to the discretion of individuals, right? Because at the end of the day, is it actually enough incentive? It's sentiment. It's sentiment, the fact that, oh, these are my fans. This is my hometown. Is it enough reason for you to come perform? So I interviewed Akon. I was having a conversation with Akon, and we were talking about how Afrobeat is global right now, and how some of these stars do not want to come perform in Nigeria. Some of them even condescend to Nigerian fans in the way they treat them, the way they talk to them, right? And he said you can never be too big for the hometown. He said you can never be too big for the hometown, and that's okay. That's one way to look at it. We can say, okay, as a superstar, you can never be too big for your country. I mean, you've made money internationally, you're big globally, but you still have to come back to Nigeria to do something for the hometown. Because I think that's where you get your inspiration from. That's where the music comes from, right? But it's still sentimental. You cannot force them to do it. Because at the end of the day, even though I kind of personally I lean towards that particular narrative. At least I lean towards that idea that as a superstar, you have a bit of obligation to give back. I mean, because a lot have been given to you. Because even the fans here, they do a lot in exporting that sound, either through their amplification on social media, the fact that they keep listening, the fact that Nigeria have soft power, and the fact that there's a lot of Nigerians in diaspora who live here, go around the world and still export this music, take this music with them and spread it, right? So the least you can do is to give back in your own little way. You come here, you subsidize your fee, and you give something back. But I still understand that it's still sentimental and there's a bit of entitlement to it. You cannot force these artists to come perform. You cannot force them and say, oh, you have to subsidize, you have to take it, you have to suffer a loss because you want to give back. So at the end of the day, we have to subject it to the decision of each artist, right? Everybody have to decide. Each artist have to decide, do they want to do it? So sentiment for some is enough incentive. For others, it's never going to be enough incentive. So that's why at the end of the day, we're going to see some people, some stars, some big stars who are willing to, take the trouble to subsidize their fee, come perform, and others who don't want to do that, who don't feel like they can put up with the Nigerian sound, the poor setup, and the fact that they're not going to be paid at the global level that the fee they command. They're not going to come. They're not going to show up, and we have to accept that.
All right. So, then why are churches able to host massive concerts in Nigeria, but music promoters can't do the same?
You see, this is one conversation that's been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
Oh, experience old every year, the same TBS, sold out. So what is the excuse? Why is Afro Nation cancelling? Number one, you cannot compare both of them. They are different. It's apples to oranges. Experience is a religious event, driven by spirituality. Afro Nation is a music concert driven by profit and entertainment. So they're number one, they're very, very different. So while experience is organized by the church and let's even start with, okay, experience now is organized by the church. You get gospel artists to come perform. You pay the gospel artists, right? You pay them, but gospel artists don't have Afrobeat in the world. I mean, they perform internationally too. They perform in different countries, but they are not commanding the fees the secular superstars are commanding. With all due respect to the gospel act, 20% of Burna Boy's booking fee will pay for all the gospel act that will perform in the experience. Just 20%, with all due respect to them. So it's very different. So the cost of putting together Afro Nation is very different from the cost of putting together the experience. A good part of the workforce of experience, from the ushers to the security to crowd controls and stuff like that. The volunteers. The volunteers. In Afro Nation, you have to pay everybody who is going to be working there. You have to pay everybody. And even they even have different level of government patronage. It shows like experience, they enjoy more government patronage because religion is very popular in society.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Karl Marx called it the opium of the masses. Right? And the government knows the way to get the masses. The politician shows up at experience and and say a prayer or two, and people and he instantly gets a human face despite all the atrocities he has committed. So it's different from say Afro Nation Festival, where you have to pay taxes for every single thing. You have to fund every single thing yourself out of your pocket. So it's very different, and you have to book artists. That is like one of the major challenges, because you have to book artists, and it is very expensive. It is very expensive. So it's not the fact that experience has been holding for over a decade doesn't mean that there's the ecosystem. Doesn't mean the ecosystem is conducive enough for festivals like Afro Nation to hold. You understand? So it's very the comparison is just way off. It's very, very different. And I think I need people to understand that one is religion, one is entertainment. Yes, and one is free, one is ticketed. Understand? One is inspired by church. Some people are chasing entertainment, pleasure, and luxury. So it's very, very different. You cannot compare them. But at the same time, there are still lessons that music concerts and show promoters in Nigeria can learn from experience in terms of crowd management, in terms of stage setup, in terms of sound production, in terms of the general production of the show. The experience is very good. It's very good. Like the sound production, the stage management, the crowd control, even down to security. It's very, very good. It's applaudable. So these are areas where show promoters, right? And concert organizers can learn from experience. But saying that because experience old, that there's no reason, or Afro Nation have no excuse to cancel, it's very disingenuous, because they're not the same thing.
All right. So we mentioned a couple of issues. So now, what are the steps to fixing these issues confronting live shows in Nigeria?
Man, it's just there's a lot needs to be done. A lot needs to be done, and it's not one person's job, right? It's not the job of the music industry alone or the entertainment sector alone. It's not. It has to do with both the entertainment sector and both the government. Number one, Nigerians they don't have money. People are poor. You're struggling in this country. I mean, it's data. You deny it all you want. You can falsify it and try to like manipulate it all you want and bring people walking on the streets, people chasing cars in traffic and bring them underemployed as underemployed population and claim by MBS data that these people are actually employed. It doesn't mean the fact that we are actually highly unemployed. People are suffering. There's no money. So when there's no money, people don't have disposable income. I mean, if people are struggling to feed, how would they go watch Burna Boy and pay upwards of 150k for tickets? Even minimum wage is 33k. Even 15k is a problem to pay. So if the economy is better, people will have more income, more disposable income to go for the shows. So the government has a duty, a responsibility to actually improve the economy. That's very fundamental. They have to improve the economy. And outside that, we need political will. We need political will from the government to support the entertainment industry the way it needs to be supported. You understand? We need people in the entertainment industry. Because right now we have bodies, right? From P-Man to the movie, because they have their own in the movies, both in Yoruba, both in Nollywood. So we have bodies. They need to sit down with government. And this is not just about sitting down and asking for money, then you take the money and share it among yourself and go and do God knows what with it. You actually have to sit down and tell the government areas you need support. Right? So, for example, a state like Lagos now, it's not a good look for Lagos State that Afro Nation has to cancel. Because if Afro Nation happened, people would come in. It might not be a lot of people, but there are people who travel from different parts of the world to come enjoy that festival. And they're going to be bringing tourism dollars with them. Lagos State needs that dollars. Nigeria as a country, we need that FX. Right? We're losing out on money. We're losing out on good money here. So the government needs to be able to support the entertainment sector. For example, since we're talking about Afro Nation and how the cancellation reflects on Nigeria, right? So government needs to be able to support these brands, these concert organizers, possibly even through funding, through private-public partnership. So maybe through tax holidays, instead of like them expecting them to pay all the taxes, you can give them tax holidays. Because at the end of the day, in the long run, it injects money into the society. You get revenues too. So their tax holidays, they're part of funding. They can create a trust a fund, a public fund to support the entertainment sector. For example, let's take Cross River State. They have the Obudu, Cattle Ranch, they have the Tinapa. Yeah. So imagine a partnership between Afro Nation and Cross River State government. I mean, they have the let's say they have the sport already. There's the structure, infrastructure, right? There's the infrastructure for the festival. So now the partnership will not just bring people from all around the world. It will also bring a lot of money because these people are bringing money with them, right? So it's not just going to be a partnership with Afro Nation alone. It's going to be a partnership with, say, even hospitality companies, hotels, restaurants. They're going to come there and set up shop because they have to cater to the needs of people coming from all over the world. Booking agencies, airlines, giving different packages, different incentives for people to travel down to Port Harcourt and spend 1 week enjoying Afrobeat festivals, listening to different kind of music, sightseeing. And they're not doing it for free. They're going to be spending money. So that's money being injected into the Nigerian ecosystem. We are capturing that money and it's staying here. So these are areas the government needs to look at because it's a very, very strong revenue pipeline. And if we get it right, Afrobeats can be our World Cup. The way countries host World Cup and people all around the world will travel to go watch that World Cup and spend a lot of money during their time here. Yes, we can make Afrobeat our World Cup. Have people from all around the world come experience Afrobeat right at the hub of the sound itself. So we need government partnership, we need government support, we need the economy to be stronger. We also need the stakeholders, right? The people within the industry, the players, to have honest conversation. It's just not possible to pay these artists the kind of money they're asking for. I mean, we have to be realistic. The money is just not there. They can't afford it. They just can't afford it because there's no way a Nigerian brand or a show promoter will pay you, let's say $500,000, just one person. You still have to book like 5 more people. Right? How do you make that kind of money back? You're not making it back from tickets. Definitely not. You have to cover sound, you have to cover stage production, security, logistics. Where are you going to get the money from? We have breakout artists that just broke out this year. I have a handful of songs. They're charging upwards of 15 million for a show. 15 million for a show in Nigeria. It's a lot. People can afford that kind of money. So we have to have a conversation and say, how do we make this work? Maybe is there going to be like, are they going to set booking? I don't know how to put it. Maybe they're going to set a standard, a limit, a benchmark based on KIDA, A-list artists. We're going to be paying A-list artists this amount of money this year, B-list artists this amount of money this year, C-list artists this amount of money this year, right? Or would the artists be open to partnership? They won't do it, but would they be willing to take the risks with the concert organizers and show promoters and say, okay, if I'm charging $1 million for a show, I'll pay $200,000. Then after the show, we'll share so percentage of the revenue of the show. Would they do it? No, because they understand that there's a lot of risks that money will not come back. So they rather cash out, take their money, perform, and go. So it's not sustainable because it's the ecosystem that will suffer. So they have to have a very honest conversation and see how to fix the situation. So these are what I think needs to be done. These are the solutions to actually growing the ecosystem. Because if we do not grow the ecosystem, what we're going to have is, we're going to have an industry where the music is taken from Nigeria and it's being exported to the rest of the world, right? So Afrobeat, people are going to, companies, brands, artists, they're going to come to Nigeria, soaking the culture, soaking the music, then take it as a finished product and go and export it to the rest of the world in different forms. Now, we are seeing the music getting exported, right? Now, we're also seeing products getting exported, like festivals. People are having festivals in every part of the world, and it's going to keep growing. I mean, we've seen Nigerian artists sell out shows in India, right? So these are some brands who's now looking at possibility of actually having concerts in places like India, in different parts of the world right now. So those are products you're going to be selling. We're seeing dance classes, people learning Afrobeats, African dances, right? It is the music selling that particular product. If the music is not popular, people will want to learn the dance. You feel me?
Yeah.
The only reason why a white woman or a white man, the only reason why a young woman in Netherlands or Inoue would want to learn African dance or leg work is because she has listened to Afrobeat. She's seen on YouTube, she's seen on social media where people are dancing leg work, right? You understand? So they're going to sell it as finished product, and we're going to lose out. We have nothing here. The ecosystem will suffer. So if we do not fix it, if we do not get it right, what we're going to have is a struggling industry that will not harness the potential of Afrobeat. And someday we'll just have stories to tell. We have stories of a genre that used to be great, but fell off because we couldn't grow the ecosystem the way we should. And that's factually.